Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. I just want to update you on Alexander Bublik. He has changed his string setup, but most of all, most importantly, he has won his first ATP Tour title. The ATP 250 in Montpellier, he beat Alexander Zverev in the final in straight sets. It's now 2-0 up in head-to-head against Zverev, so it seems like Zverev has a problem with these types of players that kind of mixes it up, plays a lot of drop shots, underarm serves. He just plays whatever creative tennis he can find on the day, and I think he's a fun player to watch. He's the Kyrgios from Kazakhstan, a very interesting guy, 24 years old, almost 2 meters tall, big game, but can also play with great touch and feel. So fun and entertaining to watch, and I think he will win more ATP titles in the future. He's been playing with the YONEX E-Zone DR98, maybe the most popular frame of the YONEX E-Zone 98 series, used by several pros, used by many club players. It has a little bit of a more connected feel, a little bit more of a plush feel in the string bed than some of the other E-Zones, but it's a little bit more difficult to use, heavier, and it is still quite stiff. So a few of my friends who use the E-Zone DR98 have later experienced some arm issues like tennis elbow and so on, and these are coaches and actually very good tennis players, so it's not a technical issue. It's a stiff racket, but it's also a very good racket. I personally prefer the latest E-Zone 98. I find it a little bit easier to use, to swing, has a bit bigger sweet spot, so for me that's a good option. But Alexander has used the DR98 with a full bed of YONEX Polytour Pro. That's the YONEX flagship polyester string, not too stiff, good control and so on. But lately he's been seen using Polytour Pro and possibly YONEX REXIS or Natural Gut in the crosses. So REXIS is a multi-filament string from YONEX. They offer 3 different ones, the REXIS Speed, which is the stiffer one, the REXIS Comfort, which is the more comfortable one used by Jenny Bouchard now recently in my video, if you check that out. And then they have the regular REXIS, which is kind of in the middle. And many YONEX players, instead of using Natural Gut, which is very common on tour, you know, Djokovic, Federer, Murray all use Natural Gut, and many other players in a hybrid setup to get a more comfortable, powerful feel. Many YONEX players actually get REXIS instead, and that is not as good as Natural Gut in my opinion, but it does a similar job of making a more comfortable string setup and giving you a little bit more power on your shots. So maybe that's what Bublik is going for. Maybe he wants more comfort, maybe he wants more power, maybe he just prefers the feeling. Many pros like Natural Gut because you get excellent tension maintenance, the best in the business still after all these years, and they also get a really nice sensation and impact when you string a hybrid with Natural Gut. So hybrid setup now for Bublik. It seems to work well for him. Not sure if it's the string. As you know, I'm not trying to say that a string change or a racket change will make you win ATP titles. I'm just keeping up to date with these changes because I find them fascinating, and I hope you do too. There are many pros testing kind of hybrid setups to get more of their racket. That's the trend. You're seeing pros go to bigger head sizes. They're trying different string tensions. They're trying to reduce string gauge. They're trying to get more out of their racket. It's kind of like any other sport. You maximize your physique, your mental strength, your tennis ability in all kinds of ways, but you also need to think about the equipment. What can the equipment bring to your game? It's such a competitive sport, and everyone is so good these days that you need to think of all aspects to improve your game. So many pros are trying new string setups, new rackets, and so on. And hybrid setup is an interesting way to try. Main strings give the string bed its most flavor, but you can definitely change it up a little bit, spice it up with an interesting cross string. So you can try different combinations to see what works for you if you want to get more out of your racket or change something in your setup. So that's it about Alexander Bublik. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please support me by joining my Patreon, patreon.com/tennisnerd, or by buying something from the links in the description below. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.